Hi, it's Kim.
Hi, I'm Kristine,
We are here to help you navigate change.
and in today's Coffee Chat with Kim and Kristine, we're going to be talking about how to prepare for a phone date. I just want to remind everybody that we have an all-inclusive channel. This advice is applicable to anybody.
In today's video, we'll be talking about how to prepare for that phone conversation with someone you met online that you're really interested in too, and how to handle it. So how do you get ready for that?
The most important thing is to prepare as if you're going to meet somebody in person. So what I mean by that is make sure that you pick out a first date outfit. Have good hygiene, smell nice, brush your teeth, do your hair, do your makeup. Make sure that you feel presentable, because when you feel presentable, you feel confident, even if you're not talking to somebody in person.
You're right, and that's so true. I mean, you have to be mentally and physically ready for this, right? It's not because it's on the phone that it doesn't have as much value. It has just as much value as if you were meeting someone face to face. So take it as it is, and take it as seriously as you would. You know, you were mentioning that if you feel confident, people can hear it through your voice. And I think it's absolutely right. And the other thing is that you want to be happy and optimist. So how do you bring yourself, your mindset to this before answering the call or before making the call?
Well, that's an easy one. So for me, music is my life. Music, I don't know if you know this, but depending on what music you listen to, the beat of the music will sync to your heartbeat. So if you're getting ready to do running, or if you're preparing for a date, it's a lot easier to pick something that's upbeat and for your heartbeat that's pretty anxious and getting pretty excited to match that rhythm. That's something that I want to remind everybody is it's almost impossible to remind yourself to go from being super anxious to super calm. But the path to going from being anxious to being excited, it's horizontal. So it's a lot easier for you to transfer the energy. So instead of trying to calm yourself down, just start to get really excited, and not about the future, but about having the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody, and even the possibility of really just hitting it off and feeling good after the conversation. So just think about it as far as that. Don't think about it any further.
And you know, I always say you can hear a smile in the voice. So if you have to fake smile while you're dialing, it's fine too. If you need to call a friend that you know that she's very or he is very funny, and you say, "I just need you to make me smile," and they're gonna give you a joke, and that's all. If you just need to bring your state of mind at this level, right?
Since it's going to be the first time that you're interacting with somebody, similar to any kind of business partnership or when you're meeting up with a friend for coffee, on the day of, just confirm that you are still available to talk to that person and that they're still available to you. And also figure out in that period of time, like you can even send a text message saying, "Hey, I just want to make sure that we're still on for today." Also figure out who's going to be calling who, because the last thing you want to do is wait for that time and you think that you're going to be calling them and they think that they're going to be calling you.
Yeah, it's all about logistics. So just make sure, just like a real date, that everything is set up and you're both on the same page. So one of the things you want to do is make sure that for this phone call, you treat it just like as a real meeting, where you will have full attention dedicated to the person you're talking to. Make sure it's a place where it's going to be quiet and you will have all the leisure to talk and say what you have to say without any constraint.
If you're calling them, just take a deep breath, smile, and give them a call. Or if they're calling you, just take a deep breath, smile, and then answer the call. You're going to hear a voice that you haven't heard before. It's going to be strange. You might get that, "Oh, I'm talking to somebody and I don't really like their voice," or, "Hey, this is actually a really nice voice." But it's the first part of them that you're getting to experience, that's real, that's tangible, that's real time. Meet people where they are. So you know that you're going into a conversation with somebody you've never met before, and you have no idea what it's going to be like. You don't know what they're going to sound like. You don't know what they're going to talk about. And it's important to think about breaking the ice and being vulnerable. So for instance, if you call them up and you say, hey, like, it's nice to talk to you. I have to be kind of honest. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm talking to you for the first time. And all of a sudden, that makes you human because they're nervous too and they can relate. And you can say, oh, haha, I'm nervous as well. And then once the ice is broken, you can say, oh, so how's your day going? I think that's one of the big things is meet somebody where they are and on their level. So take the time to, when you call them, if you are lucky enough to get somebody like Kim who is like, hi, how's it going? And you just feel like you won the lottery. Congratulations. You're going to have like a really, like, you're going to have somebody that's going to take you for the roller coaster ride of a conversation. You know, they're going to drive the bus. If you call me, chances are that I'm gonna be a passenger in your bus, or we're gonna be kind of side by side going together. The other thing that a lot of people are worried about when it comes to a date is, what am I going to talk about? And I honestly think that the best thing to think about is all of the recent experiences that you had. So think about the funny moments, think about the trips that you've taken recently, think about the trips that you're planning on taking in the near future. Think about goals that you're working on, books that you want to read, movies that you've seen. Just start thinking about the things that you've done. You might need to look at your Instagram or your Facebook or talk to a friend and get some tips on what you've done recently or what's kind of a funny story. And honestly, your friends are your best resource. In addition to having somebody like like coaches like us in your back pocket, talking to your friends and saying, hey, what is it that people like about me? Like, why me? Like, why would somebody want to have a phone conversation with me? What do you think my best qualities are? What do you think I should, like, what kind of things do you think that that a guy who would be interested in me would be interested in knowing on a first date?
So I think it's super great what you just said. It's something super easy to do. The other thing that I would like Kristine to talk with you is because, like, you know me, if I'm the type of person that's very excited, so I'm very happy and I'm very overwhelming for some people I could be, right? And it's okay. I know what I am. I'm very proud of who I am, but I speak a lot because I share a lot. And you're more introverted. So how would you say maybe somebody like me could tone it down and give the other person the chance to also be able to express whatever they have to say, and that the exchange is mutual?
Something that's important is to practice your active listening skills. When you ask a question, and I know Kim is a big advocate of this as well, pause. And how long is it, Kim, that you want people to pause for?
If you're somebody that is really calm, you know, you can pause for as long as you want, but with my speed of mind, I can do one Mississippi. That's as much as you can ask me. So if you ask a question, you talk, and I'll be like, you're done. I'll say one Mississippi, and then I'll start. Reason being is that if you were not finished your thought, it gives you time to start again before I cut you off. And if you were done, then there's not an extended period of time where we both don't know what to say, right?
For sure.
It's gonna get, you know, there's always the fear that it's gonna get hardcore. What if there's no conversation, where it's not going anywhere? What if they're silent and we both don't say anything? So a few things you can do, you can get 3 fun questions ready. Fun questions are questions that will surprise the person, that don't make the other person have to wonder if you should reveal that information. So the information to be revealed is very light, and it's something you guys can expand on after. An example could be, if you win $10 million tomorrow, what's the first thing you'll do? You know, then you guys can going on at it. So if the conversation gets a little tense, or there's a moment when nobody's talking, you can use those fun questions.
In addition to that, something that's important is, just like when you're preparing for an interview, you might be asked those tough questions, like, when was your last relationship, or how did it end, or why are you living at home, or why, let's say, you know, you're unemployed or something happens, like, why is that? people don't necessarily, just like in an interview, care what the response is. I mean, they do care a little bit, but they really care about what the delivery is. And it's important, like, would you really share super intimate personal experiences that might have been traumatic with somebody you just met, like on the street? Probably not. So if somebody asks you how your day went and, you, let's say, got laid off from work or something, that may not be something that you want to share. You might share that with a girlfriend, but instead you might say, you know what, I ended up having like a really nice walk by the beach today, or I had a nice lunch with my friend. A lot of people think that, oh, that's a trap, I should go down the rabbit hole. Don't go down the rabbit hole. Like, tiptoe around the hole. You don't have to go down that part. Even when somebody's asking about like when your last relationship was, you can estimate. Estimating's better. If you know the exact amount of days since your last relationship, like to the day, then to somebody that might be a red flag. So if you say you look like, I've been out of a relationship, it's been like just over a year and I'm ready to get back into dating. Or if somebody has said like, oh, why did you break up? You really don't have to, like, they don't want to know the details and you don't want to share them. So you can just say, oh, like our paths just, they were together for a period of time and then we just realized that we wanted different things. And look, you talked about the question, you answered the question, and then you follow up with some kind of other question that, like, you can either punt it back to them, or if you don't want to talk about that kind of stuff and go down the rabbit hole, you might want to say, so do you have any brothers or sisters, or do you have any pets? Or you can kind of divert it. If you divert it all of a sudden to, so if you were stuck on a desert island, who would you take with you? That might not be the question that you ask just after you've been asked something like that. So ask something kind of easy that like, think about being on a cruise ship. You can't just turn the cruise ship super fast if you see something in front of you. You have to slowly navigate it. So think about, you're on a cruise ship and you kind of have to slowly navigate through a channel, and sometimes you're going to get to a fork in the road where you're going to talk about, either you have an option to talk about like an intimate question or an intimate part of your life, or you can stick to the safe topics. And every time you get to that road, even if the question's asked to you, you can choose which fork you want to go down. And occasionally, you'll hit those like rabbit holes that I talked about, or icebergs, I guess, if you're on a cruise ship, and you want to make sure that you go around them carefully, right? and so yeah, I think that's the best advice that I can give to you.
Yeah, I think one of those things, and it's related to what you're talking about, one of the main thing I hear when I talk to people, it's if you have to mention your ex in a first meeting, this is not a good sign. People are curious. People ask you why you're not with your ex anymore or what happened. At this point, it's your first meeting. So think like it was complicated. We took different path, like you said, it's fine. But although you might talk about happy moment in your past, you don't have to say whoever was there at that moment either. Make it about you, and it's not about your friend, it's not about your ex, it's not about your family. This conversation is that person want to learn to know you better. I feel that we get into those phone calls and we see it as the last conversation or last time. It's the first and last chance to ever say what we have to say. Don't walk into that phone conversation thinking it's your last chance or your only chance. Walk into that conversation with the thought this is your first chance. It's not the last one. It's a first contact. It's not the last contact. And I think if you can put your mind into that area, it takes a lot of stress of trying to make a point in a very short period of time.
So you can also view a first date as an opportunity to practice going on a first date. And the more first dates you go on, the better you get.
So that was a lot of information, a lot of wonderful information. So if we bring it back, make sure you can give full attention to that phone call. Make sure you're ready mentally, physically, work on your communication skill, and just be happy because that person's going to know through your voice that you're happy to be there.
And I want to let everybody know that all these butterflies, this weird feeling that you get in your stomach, regardless of how many dates you go on, it's important, as opposed to trying to calm those feelings, to switch from going from really, really anxious to just getting excited. Like, get so excited.
So thank you so much, people, for being with us today.
If you enjoy these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want us to talk about something specific, please feel free to put it in the comment section below. We'll see you in the next video. Bye!